Good day, everyone. Thank you so much for clicking on the video here. Talking about Palantir, talking about Tesla. This really is the golden age ticket motto of the Warren Buffett motto, 100%. Warren's motto is really simple when you break it down. There's not much to it. The bare skeleton of what the man has to say. Buy good stocks, hold them to a point, and then sell them, and maybe buy more of it at a different position when it sells off, or put that money somewhere else. Tesla and Palantir are such a great example of that, but not only that, they're great examples of where both the companies are at different points in their life on the stock market. So when we talk about Tesla, particularly first here, obviously we've got quarterlies coming up with Tesla, and it really is this situation of it is such this place of I don't think the general market cares whether or not Tesla passes this quarterly. That really does not care. I think there's probably more investors betting against it than they're betting for it, because investors are wanting to get into Tesla as cheap as they can right now for the next life of what's coming here with Tesla. And that's the key ticket right there. So this is why buying Tesla, even at almost this $400 range, maybe $400+ range, wherever you're buying it right now, it's such a golden opportunity because, when we talk about the next phase of Tesla, it's something that we've never seen with Tesla. Not only do we have the next wave of the vehicles that they will be releasing here over this year, next year, but we have Optimus, the humanoid robot, coming to the market, robotaxi, bus taxi, autonomous vehicles. These are going to be over the next 5 years. Once all the ticks are taken out and money starts to really transform into something unique here in Tesla, it's going to really, really drive in more retail, more of Wall Street, and it's going to be much bigger than what it is right now. There's going to be people a year from now wanting and begging and wishing that they could go back to this point right now here in April 2026 and buy Tesla at $300 to $400 a share. There's going to be people even buying Tesla in the next months here to come, more than not, when we see more of this break out, is that they're going to wish they could have bought Tesla even at $500. I think there's a strong argument here that once we see by the end of this year, going into 2027 here, and no doubt about it, once all of this stuff comes together in being this massive conglomerate of what it's going to be here with Tesla, that think about what 2030 looks like for Tesla. Think about if you're buying as much as you possibly can of Tesla right now, and maybe you can get by 2030, maybe you bought 5 shares, 10 shares, 20 shares, 100 shares of Tesla. And I say that because obviously it's expensive stock. It's nothing to joke around with. It's expensive, but you're buying for this next generational buy-in right now for the next phase. And it really is a place of you may be running out of time, but it is this Warren Buffett motto of buy it and hold it and wait for the next moments, because what's coming here is going to be something special. Of it's all new innovation into the market with this company, but really think that within the next 2 years, more than not, we will probably see the stock price of Tesla gets so out of control that we will have a stock split here, another stock split in Tesla. Now, you may be going, well, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, you can say it's ridiculous all you want, but we've already seen ridiculousness with Tesla and plenty of other stocks in the market right now, Palantir being a great example of that. But really think about where this goes with Tesla. Don't think of this as like, I can't afford it. Everyone can afford to put in $5, $10, $20 a week of something. Instead of spending your money somewhere that you don't need to be spending it, put it in Tesla. Get as much as you can. If you can do that on a weekly, monthly basis, by 2030, you're going to be in this whole new position in the stock market that a lot of people, they just didn't take the time. They didn't take the patience. They didn't take the risk to push into something very unique of what's coming here. We could be in a real conversation where 10 years from now, Elon with Tesla here, they've obviously developed more technology, but they may just be known more as a robotics company, technology company, not to mention where they're going with chips, data, all of this stuff. It's just unbelievable what they're going to be doing. They really are going to hold a large portion of many markets, not one market, many markets, and this is really going to be interesting. And Palantir, I really do think that Palantir 100% is, do not listen to the FUD, do not listen to the people like Michael Berry and others other people that are just betting against it. It's not a good place to be. It really is not. It has not served anyone well to be one of those bears with Palantir. Palantir is going to this place of where, the next 3 weeks we're going to have the next quarterly, the Q1s, and we know that they're going to be in a very beautiful place, 100%. So Palantir going into this year, I think there's more of a strong argument that they will continue to find bigger and better business. They will find bigger and better quarterlies. By Q4 for Palantir, can this be a place where Palantir actually hits $2 billion with revenue by a Q4? Is that possible? We're going to find out here by Q1, because if Q1 is already beaten the already what we thought expectation was going to be, on top of the already risen expectation, that's going to be a clear indication that Q2 and Q3 are going to be so much more than what we thought. I don't know what the place of Palantir could be of where it kind of slows down. Does Palantir just run for the next 2 to 3 years aggressively? If you ask Alex Karp, apparently it does. Alex is very much in this place of where he is saying that, Palantir is going to run into a $30 to $50 billion yearly revenue cycle leading up in 2030. That's right around the corner if you really think about it. Now, once Palantir is bringing out this place of revenue much larger than what it is right now, if we see Palantir honestly doing that by 2030, bringing out $40 to $50 billion in yearly revenue, wow, buying this now, even at 150, I think there's a lot of, conversation there. There's a lot of argument that, yeah, Palantir easily could be well beyond $200 a share, years down the road from now. There could be a real conversation where it just got so crazy that maybe it did have a stock split. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money for a company at such a young place right now. So really, pay attention to what's going on with Palantir. This is a very unique situation that is evolving before us, and I just refuse, and I will not be one of these people that bet against it. I just will not. I think both these stocks, Tesla and Palantir, they're at both, they're at different ends of the spectrum here. Tesla is going into this whole new gear of where they are as a company, and Palantir is finally going into this place of aggressive revenue, more than what we thought it could be, and where they're going to prove a lot of people wrong here, and it's going to be really interesting to watch. So the Warren Buffett motto, it works. I'm telling you, it works. Buy good companies, hold them, and sell them when the stock splits and when you're really holding on to something special. Not all of it, but take the money and apply it into newer and bigger companies. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.